This is Laocoön. Legend has it he was a Trojan priest who, along with his 2 sons, was attacked by sea serpents sent by the gods. The story's most iconic depiction is a marble sculpture from ancient Greece that is now in the Vatican that many believe to be a copy of an earlier bronze work. You are looking at a plaster replica of the central figure that existed in the Glasgow School of Art's Mackintosh building. From the time of its rediscovery, copies of Laocoön and his sons were made in marble and in plaster. Many were used for teaching drawing and anatomy in art schools where collections of casts were wheeled between studios for students to work from. As drawing from casts fell out of fashion, many were destroyed. At Glasgow School of Art, however, Laocoön and other plaster casts were retained and were familiar figures in the school's corridors. In May 2014, this cast was badly damaged in the fire that ravaged the west end of the famous Mackintosh building. As if attacked by the gods again, the intense heat and smoke transformed Laocoön's marble-white plaster surface to a sooty, blistered black. A decision was made to conserve the plaster cast, given its importance in art education and also its history as part of the GSA collection. The first step was to examine Laocoön and establish how it was made so it could be strengthened.
There was this moment when I was looking at them and they had become something else. They really, really had become something else. They were already stunning. To think that people had cast these from amazing sculptures and they'd survived all these years until now, until this point. And then there was a fire, and suddenly the fire had turned them into something completely different again. We didn't know whether he was solid or hollow, so we had to work out how is the consolidant going to penetrate the plaster itself. We drilled holes into the Laocoön's body. One was to allow the endoscope to go in, so we could see all around the inside of the cast, but then we could use the same holes to actually spray the consolidant, so we could use a tool to go through those holes, so we could use those holes for as many purposes as possible, and we could then check how the consolidation was doing with the endoscope.
In terms of the conservation, in terms of the patina that the damage from the fire has lent it, what is just incredible here and absolutely magnetic is it's almost as if Laocoön, or this copy of a copy of a copy, has reverted to the original that has been lost to the mist of time. And so we have a slice of that original experience, because this dark color is actually the patina that the bronze would have assumed.
The conservation work made value of Laocoön's transformation, preserving the surface like a darkened bronze. This beautiful copy, unique in its appearance, was stored in the Mackintosh building because of its size and fragility. Sadly, it perished in the fire of June 2018. But does this mean it is lost? Our version may only exist in this intangible digital space. But could this be considered a faithful copy of the plaster cast, which was a copy of the Vatican marble, which was possibly a copy of a lost bronze? Our conserved Laocoön exists as point cloud data, and this can be transformed back into physical material through 3D printing. It can be rendered and textured in a limitless number of materials, rescaled or replicated infinitely. Would such an object be any less authentic than any of the other copies made over the past 2,000 years, in print, in sculpture, or in plaster? The Laocoön lives on.